when you get out probation. I ain't on probation. I'm on pre-trial release. So I got an ankle monitor on. I ain't on probation. I'm on pre-trial release. I go to court December 15th for my gun fed charge. Hopefully I'll be done with this shit. Hopefully we can come up with something. I hope, prosecutor been on my ass, bro. I always get a prosecutor that I wanted to tell him last courtroom. I wanted to be like, man, I'm not the person you think I am, bro. I wanted to tell him, dog, I ain't lying. I wanted to tell him, like, bro.
You just can't talk to him.
Nah, I can't talk to him. He was outside the courtroom right by me, bro. I wanted to tell him, bro, like, man, I'm not what you think, dog. Like,
that bitch probably looked you in your eyes and told you. Still coming.
Man, the first court date, he looked at me and said, wipe me down. I said, man, what the fuck? So I go to court December 15th, hopefully. My lawyers, them get with the prosecutor, we can get something going, bro. I'm tired of going to court for this shit. I ain't been able to swim in 7 months. I won't get in the pool or jump in the pool or something, man. This shit.
Still taking them baths with that leg hanging out there.
Yeah, because the judge in state court had gave me 2 years probation. But the feds locked me up the same day I was finna get my probation, so I think I got a pretty fair judge. They see that I ain't really do shit. I wouldn't hurt nobody in the crime, or wouldn't hurt nobody. Guns wasn't stolen, wasn't with no AK. With no crime involved with the gun. Hopefully, they'll see that and I'll come out pretty good.
Again, we ain't going there right now. Anyway, to quote what she said, it is outrageous that the government decided to swoop in on the day that he was going to enter a plea for probation, pull him in federally, detain him, and then announce an inability to move forward with their detention hearing, knowing what he had scheduled for the following weekend. Now, if I did anything to lose 160 grand, as if I've done anything to make that much money at one time, I'd be pretty upset. So I do personally feel like that is a probable point or a good point, I guess you could say, that she brought up. But this is where you guys tell me. Do you think that that's going to actually matter any at all to the judge's decisions? They already offered him, or gave him rather, the ability to go ahead and get bail. So how far do you think this is going to go for Boosie versus the state? Guess we'll have to wait and see. Prosecutors alleged this week that Boosie, who was arrested May 6th during a traffic stop in the Cholas View neighborhood, was found with 2 guns inside an SUV. Allegedly, police spotted Boosie in a social media video with a gun in his waistband, then used a helicopter to track down the vehicle he was riding in. Obviously not at the same time that those two things happened, but you get the idea. Prosecutors renewed the allegations on Thursday that Boosie threatened his bodyguard for not claiming ownership of the guns and told the guard, "You're going to be in a body bag." Assistant U.S. Attorney Michael Wheat told the judge there were concerns for the guard's safety. Keep that name Michael Wheat in your mind for a second, because Boosie had a little bit to say about him. But more on that in just a minute. One of Boosie's attorneys, Megan Blanco, said none of the reports authored by the officers involved in Boosie's arrest mentioned the alleged threat. It wasn't until after Boosie's arrest on federal charges over a month later that federal prosecutors claimed officers overheard the threatening statements, is what she's arguing. Blanco also said Boosie did not represent a flight risk. He attended all of his court appearances in the state's case, and he was even prepared to plead guilty in that case. So pretty convincing, I would say, in terms of saying that he ain't finna do nothing, but this is Boosie we talking about once again. On Tuesday, U.S. Magistrate Judge Allison Goddard ruled Boosie could be released on a $50,000 bond, a decision that, of course, prosecutors quickly appealed. Ben Savingo, I said it perfectly that time, ain't that crazy, granted the prosecutor's request to stay or temporarily stop Goddard's ruling. But at Thursday's hearing, she said the government had not shown that Boosie was a danger to the community. While the judge did state that she had concerns about the alleged threats, she said it was not clear whether they were legitimate or whether Boosie actually even made those statements, so there's that. She did, however, raise Boosie's bond to $100,000 and ordered him to undergo regular drug testing, but other than that, left the release conditions pretty much the same as what Goddard had set in place. Now, if you're wondering how Boosie even got in this whole thing, he was in San Diego to shoot a music video in the Lincoln Park neighborhood and perform at a Gaslamp Quarter nightclub. That was what he was there for. The San Diego County District Attorney's Office charged him with being a felon in possession of a firearm because of what we talked about a little earlier, but the case was dismissed last week. Boosie was arrested shortly after a court appearance in the state's case by the feds. Boosie himself has also called for public protests after prosecutors in his federal gun case reportedly refused to honor his bond release.